Bring in now Israeli journalist and Axios contributing reporter Barak Ravid. I'm also joined by New York Times chief White House correspondent Peter Baker as well. Barak, I want to start with you on this one. It's not necessarily surprising seeing what's happening on the ground in Israel, right? The opposition forces in the streets, along with the things that we're hearing from the opposition party amidst kind of the Israeli prime minister's marked past in that country. All that being said, though, I know that Axios received some comments from President Biden directly before this vote took place. What did he say? And is there any indication the prime minister might be influenced to negotiate a consensus deal here?
Thank you, Yasmin. Well, first, at the moment, it doesn't seem that Prime Minister Netanyahu listened to what President Biden has been saying for quite a long time, for the last 4 or 3 months, and especially 4 different times just in the last week. Once in a phone call between them, and then in 3 other opportunities, including last night in a statement that the president gave me. But Netanyahu didn't seem to listen and chose to ignore what Biden said and just move on with the unilateral legislation. What President Biden has been saying to Netanyahu, including last night, 15 hours before the vote, is that this is not what Netanyahu and other Israeli officials has been promising to the White House. And they promised that this legislation would be watered down, that this legislation would get broad consensus, and when the legislation was brought to a vote today, it was neither. It was a harsher version, and there was no consensus. It was just a unilateral step.
Peter Baker, you make a fascinating point in some of your reporting in the New York Times. As we're watching these live pictures in Tel Aviv right now, you see these opposition demonstrators in the streets surrounding this fire. They're waving the Israeli flag, right? These protests have been ongoing. And what is so different, right, about this moment in time, especially when it comes to U.S.-Israeli relations and others, is that this is a purely domestic issue.
Yeah, right. There's been tension, of course, between the United States and Israel, as close as they are, going back since the founding of the state 75 years ago. I mean, every president at some point or another has had something of a quarrel with his Israeli counterpart over many issues, whether it be arms sales or the strategy toward Iran or particularly the situation with the Palestinians. But this is an unusual situation in which it is a domestic situation. It is a situation where Israel is trying to decide what kind of government it wants to have, what kind of democracy it wants to have. And that's a rarer thing for an American president to get involved in. And yet, as Barak said correctly, President Biden has chosen to give his advice, both publicly and privately. Now, he's trying to say, I'm not telling you what to do, but I am cautioning you to do it in a way that builds a broad consensus. There's clearly no broad consensus in Israel over this. And as Barak rightly said, President Biden essentially has been ignored by Prime Minister Netanyahu at this point.
Barak, there are real national security issues for Israel amidst all of this as well, showing some cracks, it seems, amidst this opposition to Bibi Netanyahu's government. All that being said, is there a real domestic concern that his government could move further and further to the right amidst this latest decision and this latest legislation?
Well, I don't know how much to the right this government still has to go. I mean, it seems that to the right of this government, there's only a wall. So I'm not sure that this is even possible. But, you know, I want to say something about this being a domestic issue. It is a domestic issue because it has to do with Israeli democracy. But for the U.S., it's not only a domestic issue, because one of the reasons that members of this coalition, especially those who are radical right-wingers, Jewish supremacists, the reason that they want it is in order to basically neuter the Supreme Court, in order for it not to be able to stop them from taking actions against the rights of Palestinians in the West Bank. And this is part of I think, the grand scheme of things. It's not only about Israel, it's about the Israeli occupation in the West Bank. And without a functioning Supreme Court, it will be much easier for any government, and especially this one, to significantly hamper even more the rights of Palestinians in the West. And there's another issue why this is not the only domestic issue, because you see what's going on in the IDF, and there's a crisis, a real crisis in the IDF. The IDF is the most important partner of the U.S. military in the Middle East. There are U.S. forces in Syria, in Iraq, in the Gulf, and if the IDF is not functioning, if the IDF has problems, this is a national security problem for the U.S. too.